Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Jeffrey Epstein Show. I'm your host, Bobbycapucci, and this is a morning update. Day after Thanksgiving, folks. Hope everybody had a great holiday. Hope you all got to spend it with the people you care the most about. And I hope that you ate turkey until your pants were ready to pop. Hope you watched some football if you did. Crazy to see 2 onside kicks recovered in a row in that late game. Not something you see all the time, right? Today is one of that crazy-ass Black Friday nonsense. I hope none of you are engaging in any of that. Who needs that in their lives? End up looking like Rocky Balboa after his fight with Apollo Creed just for a TV. I'll be passing on that. If you would like to get in contact with me, you can do that at bobbycapucci@protonmail.com. BOBBYCAPUCCI@protonmail.com. All right, so let's see what we have for our morning update. What are we going to eat for breakfast, ladies and gentlemen? All right, so our article is from The Sun. It just came out a couple of hours ago, and the headline is, Madam Guilt. Jeffrey Epstein's pimp, Ghislaine Maxwell, says biggest mistake of her life was recruiting Prince Andrew's sex accuser. That's an understatement and a half, huh? Maybe the understatement of the century. That's your biggest mistake? Yeah, definitely one of them. But the only reason you think it's your biggest mistake is because she puts you on blast. Because she is giving you that smoke now. That's why it's the biggest problem of your life, right? If she would have just shut her mouth like a good girl, like you wanted her to, like your money wanted her to, like your disgusting buddy Jeffrey Epstein wanted her to, well, it would have been all good. Who gives a shit then, right? But now that she's talking, now that she's saying, hey, look, this happened to me, this happened to other girls, and there's more people involved, well. What now? Now it's, oh, this is the biggest mistake of my life. Give me a break. Ghislaine Maxwell has said her biggest mistake was luring Prince Andrew's accuser into her pedophile Jeffrey Epstein's depraved world, it can be revealed. So yeah, no shit. Virginia Roberts is the reason this whole entire house of cards is coming down around these people. And look, don't get me wrong, I'm not naive, right? I know that justice is going to be hard to serve in this case because of who we're dealing with. But that doesn't mean that we should throw up our hands and be like, oh well, justice has never been served in the past in situations such as these with powerful people. Why should it be served now? Screw it. I'm gonna go Black Friday shopping. Nah, that's not how I'm rolling. I'm not gonna get knocked off of course. I'm gonna stay on target. Look, this is like the Death Star, right? This is like this whole entire situation's like the Death Star, and we're like the X-Wing, the fighter pilots. The 57-year-old accused of being Epstein's pimp and co-molester is said to not give a shit about Virginia Roberts, who claims to have had sex with the royal when she was 17 and scores of others that Epstein abused. According to a family friend, what Maxwell fears is that legal action launched by Virginia would expose her network of powerful friends, which she spent years building and protecting. This is what we have to do, folks. Remember, when you're reading these articles, you have to read between the lines because the media is not going to give you the whole entire story. So they're playing word games, right? Would expose her network of powerful friends, which she spent years building and protecting. What they really mean by that is that her whole entire blackmail ring has information on all of these people that they brought into their orbit who went to these islands. Oh, yeah, come on, you could have sex with any of these girls. No big deal. Lo and behold, they're underage. Lo and behold, they've been trafficked. And now he has portfolios and dossiers on all of these people. And of course, Maxwell's right in the middle of all of that. She's the one setting everything in motion. She's the one getting all the pieces in place. She's the one keeping the ducks in the row. Well, I'm here to tell everybody, all right? I am here to tell everybody. Just like John McClane said, just another fly in the ointment, Hans. Just another monkey in the wrench. That's exactly what I am. I'm the John McClane of this shit. Laura Goldman, 61, a former New York City stockbroker who mixed in the same social circles as Maxwell, told Sun Online how the alleged madam was undoubtedly the brains behind Epstein's predatory schemes, as she was much more intelligent, well-connected, and charming than he was. Again, she's been groomed since she was a child by the intelligence services. Her father, Robert Maxwell, was part of the mega group, and if you don't know who the mega group is, go back and listen to the episode where I expose who they are. They are a very sick, sick, depraved group of rich people that pull a lot of strings. And to think that Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein weren't being run by them with all the evidence that we have, I honestly don't know what to tell you. If you truly believe this happened in a vacuum, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, it's beyond me. It's beyond my imagination to think that anyone could believe that this just happened in a vacuum and they were just a few people. It's mind-boggling to me. She told The Sun Online, Ghislaine was hysterical about the defamation suit Virginia Roberts launched. That suit made her nutso. She saw that as a threat to her whole network of famous friends. Yeah, no wonder it made her nutso. She knew she did something wrong. She knew she was involved, and she knows. She knows when the thread gets pulled on and when people start sinking their teeth into some of this meat, well, they're going to want more. And that's exactly what's occurring, folks. We got just a little taste of the meat, right? A little bit of blood in the water. And now it's like a frenzy of sharks feeding. Ghislaine said her biggest mistake was ever involving Virginia. Ghislaine doesn't give a shit about the girls like Virginia who suffered. She is more worried about exposing her network. Yeah, do you know why? Because if you expose the network that she runs in, the people that run her, well, she ends up with the same kind of fate that her father did, mysteriously falling off of his yacht, or the same kind of fate of Jeffrey Epstein, hanging himself in prison. Give me a break, all right? Nobody's buying their nonsense anymore. Laura says she last saw Maxwell about 10 years ago, but still shares mutual friends with her and remains friends with the socialite's sister, Isabel Maxwell. So is Isabel Maxwell under surveillance? If we don't know where Ghislaine is, then why don't we have all of her family under surveillance? They do that with Italian people. So if you're in the mafia and they think you've done something wrong, they'll drop a RICO case on you, a racketeering case on you, and everybody you come into contact with will get swooped up into that RICO case. They will start doing surveillance on them. They will tap their phones. They will look into their backgrounds. They will try and get them to get you. Why is that not occurring in this case? She said she attended many events with Epstein and Maxwell in the 90s and even attended one of the billionaire's infamous parties at his home in Florida, which was packed with young girls. So, again, another one of these rich people that are coming out now with their crocodile tears. I went to a party at Epstein's house, and there was a bunch of young girls there. So you don't say anything then. You wait until now, until Virginia Roberts takes everything full cannon broadside for everybody, for the whole entire case. She's the one that's out there. She's the one being sued by Dershowitz. She's the one being called all sorts of names. And now all these people are finding their courage. These people that, not people that were abused, mind you, the people that were around, the people in the orbit. Now they're coming out. Oh, I'm going to write a book. Oh, I seen this. Oh, I seen that. Well, where were you when all of this was happening? I got invited to attend by a male friend who was going, Laura recalled. Okay, what's the male friend's name? You're coming out with all these names. Let's get some names. Go on record. It was back in the 90s. I got there and there were lots of married men without their wives and young girls all over. Oh, I wonder why. I wonder why. That's a honey trap, my friends. That scheme was young when Babylon was old. This is one of the oldest schemes in the history of mankind. Prince Andrew wasn't there. I didn't think the girls were underage, but they probably were in retrospect. See what I mean? You know what this dude is up to. People talk. You know what? When you have a group of friends and somebody's doing something shitty, everybody talks. Oh, yeah, you know, John, that guy's doing tweak now. You kidding me? Kidding me with this guy? Never mind a group of rich people, a bunch of yapping yappertons. They might as well be the crones of the Doshkaleen, these rich people, the way they yap about each other. You're telling me nobody knew that they were young girls? Oh, in retrospect? Oh, Monday morning quarterback? Shut up. You're a liar. Jeffrey's house in New York was very lavish, but his Florida place wasn't. It was away from the beach at the end of a road. It was not a party for a woman to be a guest at, and I was uncomfortable. Because of that, I didn't want to go to any of his New York events because I knew there was just something wrong about it. After Jeffrey was arrested the first time back in 2008, I didn't want any more to do with either him or Ghislaine after that. So then you had no idea what was going on. You had some assumptions, but you still went to the party, right? Still went and ate their food, still went and drank their booze, still went and socialized, still went to try and make your circle bigger, all on the backs of these victims. Real nice. Real nice. How do you sleep at night? How do you sleep at night? I know I couldn't. I know I couldn't sleep at night at all if I was involved in any of this at any level, even in the most minute way. Laura also criticized Prince Andrew, who has always denied any wrongdoing or knowledge of Epstein's activities. Yeah, okay. For not realizing that the scores of young girls at the perv's events were really what they were really there for. She said, I think Prince Andrew is an adult. He lives in a different world and may well be thought that those girls were servants, but obviously they weren't. No, he didn't. He knew what was going on. All right? He doesn't walk around the Buckingham Palace yanking servants to have sex with. What is this, the Middle Ages? What is he, Henry Tudor? Come on, man. No one's buying any of this stuff. He is part of a world of people who think they are entitled to get whatever they want. It's a different reality to most people. Yeah, well, we know that. And we know that they take what they want. They don't care about killing people. They don't care about raping people, obviously. They just take what they want. They believe it's all coming to them and that the world owes it to them. Laura also told of her surprise when Maxwell was pictured at an In-N-Out Burger restaurant in Los Angeles in July. Maxwell is believed to have been photographed by her lawyer, Leah Safian, whose dog appeared to be with the socialite and whose metadata was linked to the picture. Safian has kept a low profile since the allegations, but Sun Online pictured her ironically going through the drive-thru of her local In-N-Out Burger joint in Los Angeles this weekend. This lady loves that In-N-Out, huh? They staged the picture at In-N-Out, she goes and eats In-N-Out, and from looking at her picture, she should probably take a few steps back and not have so much In-N-Out. A walk around the block will not kill you. Another burger might. Ghislaine does not eat at In-N-Out. She is obsessed with her figure. She always used to make very offensive jokes that she was on a Holocaust diet, Laura revealed. Oh, that's nice. That's real nice. I couldn't believe she would allow the first picture of her for however long to be at a fast food restaurant. I was shocked. I bet it was the first time she had ever been there. She's very, very vain. Well, I don't know about the first time she's ever been there. If you're not familiar with the West Coast, In-N-Out Burger is like a huge staple. People that come here from overseas or the East Coast, they love to get themselves some In-N-Out Burger. She might like that. That might be her, this lady doesn't have that kind of intimate knowledge, I'm sure. So let's not say, oh, she never eats there, blah, blah, blah. We don't know that. It comes after Laura revealed to Sun Online how Maxwell was sex-obsessed and has managed to find herself a new boyfriend. And we covered that article yesterday. Scott Borgerson. She swooped him, stole him from his wife, from his kids. Another sicko that's, was accused of sexual assault and whatnot. Yeah, birds of a feather. These people all flock together because guess what? Normal people won't put up with their behavior. Telling how she became close to the Maxwell family, Laura said, "My parents are Holocaust survivors, and Isabel does a great deal of work talking about the Holocaust. The Maxwells lost something like 300 members of their family in the Holocaust, and as a family, they have done a lot for the state of Israel." Back up, hit the brakes, let's read that again. The Maxwells lost something like 300 members of their family in the Holocaust, and as a family, they have done a lot for the state of Israel. They have done a lot for the state of Israel. Now I wonder, what is the state of Israel doing for Ghislaine Maxwell? And I don't mean the people of Israel, by the way. I mean their devious-ass intelligence services. They're on the same playing field as the CIA and the scum in our own intelligence services here in the States. These people all play the same game. They all hang out together, the Five Eyes of intelligence. They're all in on all of this crap together. And I find it very, very hard to believe that the Mossad or the CIA does not know where Ghislaine Maxwell is. In fact, I'll take it a step further. I would not be surprised if either or both of those organizations are protecting her. I was always active in the Jewish community scene, so that's how I got to know Isabel. I've traveled with her to Israel, and people would literally stand up when she walked into a room. Her family commands respect. Yeah, I know they do. And look, don't get me wrong. I have nothing to say about her sister. I really don't know her sister's life. And any work with Holocaust survivors is a noble cause, in my opinion, because it's one of the darkest times in our history. But again, we see these people, these sort of sick elites, they use these charitable organizations and movements such as these to cover their disgustingness. And it's just unacceptable. It's really unacceptable. I didn't get to know Isabel's twin sister Christine, who lives in Dallas, but I knew of her because she is a Holocaust academic too. I got to know Jeffrey through academic circles at first. He had links to universities I was also associated with. Well, again, the academics. There's no academics on blast yet, though, and believe me, when we get the academics and they're named in these files, we're gonna put them on blast. We're gonna light them the F up. Back then in the 90s, there were all kinds of parties in New York, and there used to be a joke in the early days that Ghislaine would show up to the opening of an envelope. She would literally be at every networking event. That was her job. No one actually knew what she did for a living. Going to parties and meeting people was her thing. She was everywhere. So, look, I could tell you what her job was. It's very, very obvious to anyone who has any knowledge of how this sort of thing works. And you guys are in luck, because I do. Her job was to go to these parties. She was the social arm of the operation. She would go to these parties and she would recruit people to become, people to come to these parties, to meet Epstein and to get into his orbit. That way they could get their hooks into them. They could get their blackmail information on them. And these are powerful people, folks. And when you have blackmail information on powerful people, well, you control those powerful people. And then in essence, you control whatever they control. She always wore nice and expensive clothes. Then she started to be with Jeffrey at events. I think she was attracted to him for all sorts of reasons. For a start, he was very domineering. He was a very domineering character, like her father Robert, and she wanted money, the kind she was used to before her father died. I, myself, wasn't really her cup of tea. I wasn't fancy enough. Maxwell has denied any wrongdoing. Sun Online reached out to her representatives for comment. Well, there it is. She tells you right here. She always wore nice and expensive clothes. Then she started to be with Jeffrey at events. Then she started to be with Jeffrey at events. Then she started to be with Jeffrey at events. Do you understand why I'm saying that multiple times? I want you to understand what that means. She went there and she got herself, she weaseled her way in, and then she eased Epstein in. A guy that has no background, no family ties, no legacy, nothing like that. Why was he chosen to be brought into the circle? Why was he chosen to be the guy? And that's a question we all have to ask ourselves. And we need more answers. There's still not enough answers, nowhere near enough answers in this case. Ghislaine Maxwell needs to be brought in. She needs to be arrested. And I don't even understand what's taking so long. All right? It's absolutely mind-boggling to me. All right, everybody. So before we sign off today, I got a podcast I think that some of you guys might like. So you should go check out Brad is a Bad Person. It's a podcast from some Australian guys, and it's very, very informative. They have a nice 2-part Epstein show that they did. And during their show, they referenced our podcast over here, Our Little Corner of the World, and said that it's helped them, unpackage things a little bit. It's been informative for them, the format that I use. And as a content creator, that's awesome to hear from other content creators that they appreciate the work we're doing over here. So last night I spent an hour and a half listening to their Epstein, their part 2 of their Epstein episodes, and it was really good. These guys they're on point. They know what they're talking about. Their podcast is good, and their other episodes are entertaining as well. So go over there, give them some love, check out their podcast, download some of their stuff, and give it a listen. If you'd like to get in contact with me, you can do that at bobbycapucci@protonmail.com. That's BOBBYCAPUCCI@protonmail.com. If you would like to support the show, you can do that in the description box. Just follow the GoFundMe link. I will be back later on with a daily drop. And like usual, if anything pops off this afternoon, you can expect to hear my yappity-yappy voice. All right, everybody, enjoy your day.